Hello and welcome to my presentation on the 2017 Peru floods and mudslides. So in this first picture here you see a graphic which depicts the cause of these floods and mudslides that happened in Peru in 2017. It's this thing called El Nino, more specifically coastal El Nino, which is a warming of the Pacific waters next to Peru, which caused unusual climate patterns, as this is normally a very dry area. But this El Nino caused a positive feedback loop to weaken trade winds, which allowed much more onshore wind, which led to, of course, heavy rains, which later, as we know, will devastate the area. And now in this next slide, here you can see three pictures detailing some of the destruction that this weather caused. As during this, there was 10 times as much rainfall as there normally could be in this area, which caused rivers to overflow drastically. This rainwater also oversaturated the soil and created mudslides, which destroyed roads and terrain. And as you can see here, it's really just muddy rapids, as you can tell in the top left photo here. I mean, it was like this for apparently days. Just huge lakes of water overtaking all kinds of areas. And now here in this next slide, you can see some more of the bigger picture kind of effects. On the left is what used to be a farm, but as you can see now, the mudslides have just decimated it, and clearly there's no plants growing there right now. And in the picture on the right is a village, and you can see the effects that the floods have had. Basically halfway submerging a lot of buildings. And it's like this for miles and miles in lots of areas in Peru after this event. And more than 160 people died during this disaster, with hundreds of people isolated on tops of roofs of their houses for days due to the floods because they can't really go anywhere, as the waters were basically rapids and they would get swept away by the current if they tried to swim out or something like that. And more than 184,000 people lost their homes, 1,000 schools and 380 healthcare centers were also destroyed. And as you can see clearly, just lots of destruction to property, agriculture, all kinds of things. In the end, small-scale businesses, for the majority, there was so many family-owned businesses that were destroyed due to this. And an estimated $3 billion was lost just from the floods and mudslides, not including rebuilding or anything. Just $3 billion of just straight damage to the area, which is really devastating. And now you see here in this slide is some of the things that Peru is trying to do to maybe prevent something like this bad happening again. After the aftermath of this, the Peru government opted not to build any temporary houses, but to jump straight to building permanent houses for those that lost their homes. And this effect actually leads to lots of people living in tents, even to this day. Which, I mean, it's good that they're looking to build houses and whatnot permanently, but there's a lot of people still left on the street, just living in tents. It's not really the best way to live, especially with a family. But Peru, they're putting in place systems to increase the communication to warn citizens of disasters that could occur, such as the one like this. But they're not really doing any preventative measures like dams to try and hold off anything that happens. So it may not be the best plan, but they are doing something at least. And here are my sources, and thanks for watching.